To the Institute of Flight. I'm Kyle, your SketchUp instructor, and today we'll be drawing a gear for our aircraft assembly using SketchUp. We're going to start with our Select tool. We're going to select the object in front of us so that it turns blue and press Delete on our keyboard to remove it. Now we're going to go to our Shapes menu. You may have yours on the side extended tool palette here, and we'll select Circle. We'll choose where we want its radius to be. Starting in the origin is going to make it very easy for us. So we'll click once there, move our mouse, and click to finish. The size doesn't matter too much right now. We'll print it at whatever size we need at the end. Now we'll use the zoom tool or the middle mouse wheel to zoom out and then zoom back into where we want to be. And we could use the orbit tool or press with our middle mouse wheel to change our view. Generally we want to be looking straight down on what we're working. So we'll do that now. Next we'll use our line tool to pick a couple of facets of the circle to work on. So I'll start by connecting from one of these edges, these corners, of our circle that's not actually a circle, clicking to start, clicking to place that line to the center, and then I'll just pick two segments right here. This will make sense in a moment, and we can always go back and redo it, no problem. I'll use my eraser to drag across the part of the circle we don't want. Notice that removes the entire curve outside of the shape we had drawn. And that's alright, this is the only part we need. We'll then use some of our drawing tools, like maybe an arc, and maybe some lines, to draw sort of what looks like the edge of our gear. And it doesn't look like much yet, but it'll make sense in a moment. I'll use my eraser to get rid of the lines we don't want, and I might even draw some space inside it to act as a spoke for our gear. I'll have to use the Select tool to get rid of surfaces we don't want, because if I erase that edge, I'm losing something I care about. Now I'll press Ctrl-Z to undo that erase, select the surface I don't want, and delete it just like we did in the beginning. Next, we'll select everything we want to copy, which is our entire segment here. Remember, it started as two facets of a circle, which was actually a 24-sided polygon. And we'll take our Rotate tool, it's right up here, place it on the center of rotation. The axis of rotation we want is that point, and notice it'll turn into a little green dot if it's both on the end of your surface, the end point right there, and the origin at the same time. We'll click on it, and since we already had this shape selected, it'll stay locked. We'll grab one reference point, which we'll just choose somewhere along this edge, and notice our piece will now rotate with the tool, but we want to make a copy of it instead, so we'll tap Control. Once we've done that, it'll make a copy, and it'll be easy to snap it on to the opposite side from where we started. We'll place it down, and then we'll just type X11, Enter. And that'll repeat the 11 more copies, the 10 more copies in this case, that we need. So 11 copies total plus the original makes 12 segments all the way around our circle, because we started by choosing two segments at the beginning. If you chose 3, you'd only have to multiply it 7 times to get 8 copies total. Now we'll go to our eraser, get rid of all the lines dividing our different segments, and go to our Push-Pull tool to click on the surface, which is now one surface because we've removed those lines. Click, move, click to finish. And there's our final gear. Once your gear is finished, remember, you can always press Ctrl-Z to go back and redo any parts of these steps. You'll go to your Select tool, choose the entire thing by dragging a selection box, and say File, Export STL, and save it in the Dropbox for the instructor to print for you.